So Dominic Thiem did go out today to Lloyd Harris. To be completely honest, I'm not surprised. I kind of saw this coming. That's why if you look at my channel a couple hours ago, I was looking at this match in particular as an interesting matchup and a really big test for Dominic to see where his confidence is at as a player. It's almost like winning the US Open has been a curse for him, where he was knocking on the door for a long time, started to really challenge Nadal and Federer and Djokovic, and was playing some great tennis. And then we know what happened at the US Open, where uh, basically the big three got out of the way for him, as far as Nadal not playing, Federer not playing, Djokovic getting defaulted. And Dominic Thiem took advantage of that, won the US Open. And ever since then, he's struggling to win matches on the tour. Is this what life is like in the post-GOAT era? Is this going to be what we're going to see a lot of, is where we watch top seeds go out, and not only is it happening on a regular basis, it's not even a surprise. I was not surprised that Dominic Thiem lost today. I'm afraid not even on clay he will get better, says Ivan. Well, I certainly believe that he hopes you're wrong, and I'm sure he cannot wait. He cannot wait to get his feet under some dirt. He appears to be exhausted and exasperated, says Carrie. So, guys, if you're watching this on the replay, we are live here, and I welcome the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about Dominic Thiem's performance, not only for today. Obviously, we know today it wasn't good enough. He lost 6-3, 6-4 to Lloyd Harris. But on the flip side, Dominic Thiem is not playing his best tennis. But Lloyd Harris, again, another guy. Like, I just keep watching. The more the focus gets off of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, which is going to keep happening, right? As time goes on, these guys get older. They're in less tournaments. And you look at the tour, you realize, oh my gosh, there's so many amazing players. Like, watch Lloyd Harris play, guys. The guy has got a lot of game. He's very, very good. He's very, very interesting to watch. Not surprising at all that he's capable of beating Dominic Thiem, especially when Dominic is obviously struggling with his confidence right now. It's not surprising. This guy is a great player. Make no mistake about it. Dominic Thiem did not lose to some nobody slouch and who didn't have the right to be on the court with him. And it was not surprising looking at how this guy was playing and then seeing how Dominic's been playing. I think the right person won today, to be honest. The right person won today. This guy's playing better tennis than Dominic is by now. And, I think the big question is how will tennis do in the post-GOAT era, where, we're used to seeing the big name win? Like, let's say today Nadal was in this tournament and he lost in the second round. It'd be huge headlines and people would be shocked. Federer, now that he's 39, I don't think it's as surprising. But let's say Federer, certainly. You guys remember when Federer, first of all, he wouldn't lose in the second round. But if it ever happened, I think he lost to like some guy, Canos or something, a long time ago, Canis, like in the second round, and everybody was stunned because you just never saw the top seeds lose. I mean, even going back into my day when I was growing up, if McEnroe lost in an early round, it was a big headline. If Lendl lost. Now, so it's not even just the GOAT era. Ever since I've been growing up, if Borg lost, if McEnroe lost, if Edberg lost, if Becker lost, Sampras lost, Agassi lost, if any of them lost early in a tournament, it would be major headlines. It would be shocking. Now the way things are going, unless Nadal is playing or Djokovic is playing or Federer is playing, it really doesn't matter who the first seed is. If you heard, like, can you believe Dominic Thiem lost in the second round? Everybody like, yeah, not really surprised. Can you believe Shapovalov's the third seed in this tournament? If he loses next round, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe Shapovalov lost. You'll be like, I'm not surprised. Like, that's just where we're at. And we have to figure out, as a tennis crowd to, can we live with this? Can we embrace it? I mean, we can't change it. I mean, I guess our only choice is to embrace it and just appreciate, I guess, how deep the tour is, that everybody is really damn good and everybody's very competitive and that anybody can win on any given day. I don't know why, and I'm even talking for myself, why that's a hard thing to accept. It's a hard thing to accept that everybody is pretty much even and anybody can win on any given day. That should be exciting. But for whatever reason, the way sports go, we always want to see that clear domination, don't we? Like that's what excites us the most. Am I right or am I right? Like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had no rival in his day, and we loved that. We didn't want Michael Jordan to have a rival. We want Michael Jordan to go out there and just kick ass all the time. LeBron James, same thing. Steph Curry, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I love basketball, obviously. And in my day, when you had a dominant basketball team, you loved it. That's what you wanted to see. The Lakers versus the Celtics. And then there was nobody else in the league that mattered. Do you guys remember that? And for whatever reason, sports likes that a lot better than just a bunch of people fighting it out week in and week out. You really don't know who's going to win, and you really don't know that you can't really grab one name and say this is the guy or this is the woman. For whatever reason, it's bad for sports, and tennis has got a problem, I guess, because I don't see anybody dominating, and it's I feel bad for the players because, is it their fault that everybody's so good and no one's clearly better? Is that really anyone's fault? But for sports fans, it's not good. What do you guys think about this? Let's see. The women's tour is also very inconsistent. Yeah, Naomi Osaka, I guess, would be, she's starting to kind of become a dominant player, and I think it's actually good for the game. She is becoming a superstar, I'd say, and starting to back up her results. But yeah, I mean, nothing compared to Serena or Venus, even in her day. Or let's see, who were Monica Seles was completely dominant when she was on top. Steffi Graf, so we're used to seeing outright domination on both sides, and we're not even close. We're not even close. Our top seeds are struggling to get to second and third rounds these days. You got Dominic Thiem as the first seed. He's out. Shapovalov is the third seed there. I wouldn't be surprised if he lost next match. So Medvedev, now I'm hearing this, Medvedev almost lost to Herbert on Sunday. Yeah, and that was a great match. Fairly young player. Medvedev will choke when he faces the greats in Grand Slams again and again. Well, yeah, he got destroyed by Novak, and we all thought, I shouldn't say, I can't speak for you guys. I thought Novak was going to have a tough time with Medvedev, and you're right. It just goes to show. And Djokovic, to his credit, said, people are looking for the next wave of players to take over the top three. And Djokovic said, it's not even close, guys. It's not even close. And boy, is he right. Because look, when these guys are not playing, we don't have a Nadal out there this week. We don't have a Djokovic out there. You think Djokovic's going out second round in Dubai? Psh, ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. They don't lose. I feel so bad being hard on the rest of the tour, because the rest of the tour, I mean, it's easy to say these guys don't work hard. They're not as hard. They don't work as hard. They're not as focused. They're not as this. They're not as that. When I really think about it, at the end of the day, I don't believe that. I mean, even just go to your club. Watch your top juniors at the club there. They're working really hard. They're very good. So, now times that by 100, and you got the players on the tour who are just freak athletes. They work hard. They've dedicated their entire life to it. They're all very good, very close. But yet I think we feel empty as sports fans that we just can't count on anybody except for Roger, Rafa, and Novak. And it's kind of getting really weird. To be fair, Medvedev, and to be fair too, to be fair, Medvedev played okay the finals last weekend and he won. That's right. I mean, I think people that you have got to start to look at to go, maybe they can be consistent, is Medvedev and Tsitsipas. To me, it seems like they're really trying to break through. It seems like they're really getting consistent results. It seems like they're very focused. It seems like they're very hungry. They have a lot of talent. They're separating themselves ever so slightly, not by a lot. I mean, it's nothing compared to what we've been used to, but they're trying to separate themselves. Rublev is maybe trying to do that. But then again, I mean, look at what happened to him last week. He won the tournament the week before. He had 2 walkover matches and then he lost. Bashavili ends up winning the tournament. I mean, come on. And the reason why it's concerning, I will say this, is here in Atlanta, we have the BB&T tournament. We have a professional tournament in July. It's Atlanta. Supposedly Atlanta is a hotbed for tennis. And you have players who are outside the top, let's say 15. You'll probably get players anywhere from 15 to 130 play the tournament. I mean, you're still having big names come. We had John Isner come, who was the Georgia Bulldog. John Isner is a Georgia Bulldog. Okay, that year last time I saw him win at the BB&T, he got to the finals of Wimbledon, and he's a Georgia Bulldog in a tournament in Atlanta, and no one cared. No one showed up to the finals. Nobody showed up to the finals. The stands were empty. Empty. There wasn't one row to where you're like, I can't get a seat there. You could sit anywhere. Like, how they're like saying like, oh man, it's kind of weird watching with no fans because of COVID. But if we keep seeing this pattern of we can't get a superstar, it's almost a relief that the stands can't be filled. Because have you watched some tournaments without the big three? Have you turned on the TV and looked at the New York Open? Not the US Open, the New York Open. Have you seen that tournament? Nobody goes. And that's what I'm worried about. Boxing died in the UK, US when, yeah, right. So boxing has died when you have players that don't have the people that you really can root for. So there we go. Dominic Thiem is out. He's a player now, 27 years old. He has a major. He's worked really hard. He's a fantastic player. I think Omar is on here. I know you, Omar, you really love Dominic Thiem, but it's looking more and more like we're not passing the mantle off to him at this point, are we? I don't think he's going to be dominating. Who is it? Who is it? Omar then says Medvedev can't. So he comes and says Medvedev can't. I mean, I look at Medvedev and go, why not? I mean, why can't he? He's coming closer than anybody else, isn't he? Who's closer than Medvedev to being dominant? Who's closer? I don't think anybody. I think right now, if you have to look realistically, it's Djokovic, Nadal. Federer is a big question mark because he just came back and he's already sitting out. We're certainly not that's not a criticism of Roger Federer. He's done enough for the sport. Don't you think so, guys? He's by far the most loved tennis player of all time. He's 39 pushing 40. I'm not being hard on Federer. I'm saying he came back. He played 2 matches. It was phenomenal to see. Everybody loved it, including me. And now he's not playing this week. I think you have to be a little worried about that. So I don't know if we can look for Federer to really keep saving tennis. He might be on his way out. So to me, it's Djokovic, Nadal, very, very strong, 1 and 2. No one's close. And then Medvedev. and then maybe Tsitsipas. These are my big four. If you had to say who are the big four on the tour, it's those four. But really, Djokovic and Nadal have got a lot of weight on their shoulders. They basically have to carry the tour right now, because there is zero star power after that. There is zero star power. You know, I'd really like to see Tsitsipas just start to, if I had to pick, if you're like, Pete, who would you hand the tour over? Whether you like him or not, I'd hand it over to Tsitsipas. He's very stylish to watch, and he's an interesting character. He's at times really likable, at other times he's kind of weird. I mean, but he's interesting. I think if he could continue to win, you know, he's got his own YouTube channel that is pretty good. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. I mean, he's a character, and he's, you know, he's kind of got it all. He's got the Jesus hair, he's got the style, he's got a lot of things. I would like to see Tsitsipas somehow just kick it into like fifth gear and just floor it for like 3 or 4 years and win a lot of tournaments, including Grand Slams. I think he could maybe save it a little bit. I don't know if the whole tour can rally around Medvedev. He can be very likable, weird like Tsitsipas, but in a much different way, and maybe not as easily liked, because you know, he's given the finger to fans. I don't know, they might have kind of deserved it on that night, but I don't know if the world can gravitate towards Medvedev. I think the world could gravitate towards Tsitsipas. I don't think Thiem is going to carry the mantle. Maybe Yannick Sinner can, but he's got a long way to go. I mean, I thought Felix Auger-Aliassime, the first time I saw him at 18 years old, I'm like, this is the dude. This is the guy. Look at that forehand. It's Federer forehand 2.0. This is the guy, guys. Look at how fast he is. Look at that serve. He's only 18. And he can barely win a match on the tour. Rublev is another player to watch. Now Rublev is fantastic, but when you watch Nadal and Djokovic and Federer, they've got so many gears. They've got so many places they can go. You know, look at Federer's game. He's got the serve. He's got the slice backhand. He's got drop shots. He's got volleys. He's an artist on the court. He's plays a game you just can only dream of. You know, Nadal, his mental toughness is amazing, but you know, that slice backhand's awesome. He can come to the net and volley. He can hit the ball high. He can hit winners. Djokovic can do a million things too. Andrei Rublev is incredible, but I don't know if you go consistently week in and week out, because that's what the tour needs. Remember, I started this talking about that tennis needs a dominant figure. It just does. It's more of a problem on our side than on the players' side. You know, the players are out there, they're fighting hard, they're all very talented. I don't want to blame the players, but I'm talking from a fan perspective. We need a dominant force. And if we're looking at Rublev being a dominant force, he hits the ball as hard as he can every single time he takes a swing at the ball. I don't see a plan B with the guy. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't see him having a plan B. Where is his plan B? He hits the ball as hard as he can. It's either going to go in, it's going to go out. He's either going to win or he's going to lose. He's been much better on the tour this year. He's been more consistent. But when we're talking 3 out of 5 set matches, and we're talking about playing in Australia and then playing on the clay and then playing on grass and then going to New York, I don't think one speed is going to do it. You've got to have more. Even though he's got a lot of game, we're not saying the guy doesn't have a lot of game. He's got one pace. So I don't know. I don't see Rublev doing it. Rublev has good tactical skills, not Medvedev. Whoa. Omar, you just don't like Medvedev. I mean, come on. Medvedev's got a lot of Medvedev is tough to beat, and he's got a lot of different gears, and he's very tricky to figure out. The dude is tricky to figure out, okay? He can stand way back by the fence, hit a return, then come past you. He can hit a drop shot on you. He can come to the net. You know, he's very hard to win points against. You know, Tsitsipas has called him a pusher. but then, at the Australian Open, he walked off the court scratching his head going, I have no idea how to, if you want to go watch Tsitsipas's press conference after he played Medvedev. And if he didn't, in essence, just say, I have no idea what just happened to me, I don't know how to beat this guy, tell me I'm wrong. Like, Medvedev can confuse the living blank out of you. So I'm going to strongly disagree with Medvedev, with Omar, who I love, who's one of our most loyal fans. We're just having a discussion here, Omar. You know I love you, buddy, but I mean and he's going, Medvedev is too tall. When they break that, I don't agree with that either. I mean, he seems like he's got a lot of stamina too, and I don't see his height hurting him from moving. He kind of moves like a gazelle. He gets to a lot of balls, and he's extremely deceptive. Medvedev is unconventional. That is why he's exciting. Yeah, let them compete with the big three kids. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Tsitsipas praised him after the match. Medvedev is so good at adapting. Yeah, he's so good at adapting. Medvedev is an incredible mover for his height. Yes, he's an incredible mover for his height. I mean, I think if anybody's the closest to doing it, it's Medvedev, especially if they played all four majors on a hard court. But here it is again. When you look at the way the rest of the year is going to go, Medvedev's chances of putting up a Grand Slam title this year, really to me just are at the U.S. Open, because I don't think he's going to win on clay for whatever reason. Omar, one thing is his game, which I think you'll be happy to hear because I don't think you are a Medvedev fan. His game does not seem to translate on clay so far, so I don't see him winning the French. And really, unless Nadal is like in the hospital, you can almost give him the trophy right now. Maybe Djokovic can fight for it. Maybe Dominic Thiem somehow his feet hit the dirt and all of a sudden he finds his game again and he can give people trouble. But overall, you'd have to say Nadal is a strong favorite to hold the trophy yet again at the French. And then when you go to the grass, I don't know if Medvedev is a grass. How's he done on grass? I really don't know. I mean, if Medvedev winning Wimbledon seems pretty weird to me. I don't see it happening. And the way that this is going, you're praying that Federer can come back on grass and do something. But you almost are thinking, at least I'm thinking, Djokovic is also going to win Wimbledon. And then you have the U.S. Open. And this is maybe where Medvedev can win. What are Tsitsipas's chances of winning on clay at the French? I don't know. I don't think very good. Grass. Has he done anything on grass? He's got the style of game where you'd think he'd be good on grass, but I don't know. So again, that looks like you're leaving him with the U.S. Open, a chance there maybe. And that's what's so great about the big three is you put them on any surface and especially in their prime, that they're going to be there. The big three at the Australian Open, at the French, at Wimbledon, at the U.S. Open, one or two of them is getting to the finals, and probably all of them are getting to the semifinals. If they lose in the quarterfinals or before that, you're shocked. You just can't even understand how they could possibly lose. That's how tough they are. But it's crazy right now. If a wife beater in Zverev starts the wife beater shirt, yeah, that shirt is horrific that Zverev has on. It would be hilarious. They might even ban him from the tour. Young whippersnapper, you have got the line of this whole live stream. Yes, Zverev. We haven't even mentioned Zverev because I just don't see him dominating. That goes to show what we all think about Zverev is and he's right there. He's got it. What is he, 4 in the world right now? I don't know what he is in the world, but he just doesn't really give the fans much confidence. I like Zverev, but then again, he does look kind of like, what is up with that shirt he's wearing? It looks terrible. I hope he gets out of that style really, really soon. Let's see here. Djokovic will definitely be around for the next few years. He will definitely exceed Nadal and Federer. I would think you're absolutely 100% right. I think so. People are coming at Omar right now. Let's see. We've got Nat saying it's a new generation coming out where 6'4" through 6'6" can now move very well. I agree. They just seem to not be very clutch at winning a lot of matches. Best clutch around, Djokovic, of course. I mean, you can't really argue with that right now. All right, Ollie Payton saying, I'm not so sure. I think Rafa wins the Roland Garros. He will end up with the most. I don't know about that. I think Joker's got a lot of slams left. Again, unless he gets hurt. Unless he gets hurt. That's the asterisk. You know, like it's Djokovic unless he gets hurt. That's the only way you're stopping him from getting more than Nadal and Federer, in my mind. Coach, do you think the curfew hurts players that we might see some upsets due to the lack of proper practice? No. I think it is what it is. I think we're seeing exactly what we're going to get in the post-GOAT era, where we just don't have any clarity. And I want to be very, very clear here, because it's been so easy to just blame the players. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're not talented. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. They're losers. It sounds like I'm saying that, but I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that it's so competitive and there's so many good players that no one seems to understand or know how to be dominant over the rest of the field. I mean, the field is very, very deep, and there's a lot of people working really, really hard on their game, and they've dedicated their life to tennis, and there's just no clear cream of the crop out of the crop. There's no cream of the crop out of the crop, and that is hard to blame them. It's hard to say it's one in particular player's fault that it is what it is. But as sports fans, we just don't like it. We don't like it. We won't turn on the TV if we don't know a household name is going to be playing. You know, Bashvili and Bautista Agut got to the finals of Dubai. No one's turning the TV on for that, guys. I'm sorry. It's not their fault. They worked their ass off to get to the finals. They played incredible tennis. Bashvili beat Federer 7-5 in the third. It's not his fault. I'm just saying, as fans, we're not turning on the TV for that. We're just not going to stop our day and say, I can't miss Bashvili, Bautista Agut. I cannot miss that today. I've got to stay home and plan my whole day around it, right? Now, Nadal and Federer, imagine Nadal played Dubai and Federer somehow got to the finals. We're all sitting at home. We're turning on the TV. We're going to watch that. You're going to watch Chrissy Evert versus Martina. You're staying at home to watch that, right? You're going to watch certain things. You're going to watch LeBron James in the finals of the NBA. You're going to watch that, okay? Like, for example, my team is the Atlanta Hawks. If they got to the finals of the NBA, I bet you no one would watch. If they somehow did it, no one's watching that, because I can't even name anybody on the Atlanta Hawks. And that's my team. We need stars. And until somebody starts to dominate, there is no next star. And that's a problem. It's not their fault, but it's still a problem. And it's going to hurt tennis unless somebody can step up. That's all I've got. All right, let's see. Novak is the only one who can be dominant as GOAT. Yeah, he's already done it, though. I mean, look, they already did it. Novak, Roger, and Rafa have already done it. We need somebody else to do it. They've done it. Yeah, Novak's going to do it for another 2 or 3, maybe even frickin' 5 years. But, man, we got to have somebody at least challenging him soon and scaring him other than Rafa. trying to pick up slices for 5 hours day after day, being 6'6" or above, Medvedev will retire by 25. Well, a lot of people were saying that about Nadal. A lot of people said the way he moved and the way he hit the ball and how physical he wasn't going to last, and he's going to be retired by 25. So I don't think you can say that. I'm going to disagree with you, Omar. He wants Medvedev out. He wants him out of the game. Yeah, I think the public is now also obsessed with the records, of course. Tennis Paris brothers just come on and say, Pete, how are you doing? I'm doing great. I'm doing great, guys. Maybe the Tennis Paris brothers can be the next superstars. We need that. We need that. We need some superstars, guys. So keep working on your game. Yeah. It'd be refreshing to skip the GOAT debate for once. Well, yeah, once they all retire, there is no GOAT debate. There's just the debate of who is the next superstar. Because no matter what you guys want to say, that you'll just watch tennis because it's tennis, I disagree. I don't think you will. Kyrgios is such a funny seeing him play. I hope he is coming back. Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if Kyrgios' goal. Again, I'm not going to blame Kyrgios because he is extremely fun to watch. He's good for the game overall. And I think Tsitsipas has basically made a decision, which can you blame him? You know, he's easy to blame because you're so talented. You're wasting your talent. In a way, he certainly is wasting his talent. But, you know, if Kyrgios was your son, if you had a son who was, what is he, 24, 25? You know, I mean, look how many kids who are 24, 25 are still living with their parents and can't get a job. You know, so you could call Kyrgios a loser and an underachiever, but if you had a son who could go make $1 million living, multi-million-dollar living on the tour, travel the world, have fun, date all kinds of hot girls, you know, you'd say my son's doing pretty good. You know, how's your son? Oh yeah, well, he's a millionaire. He plays tennis on the tour. He dates women from all over the world. He parties all the time and has a great time. You know, would you say that he is a loser? You know, I just think that's the decision he's made. I think he's looked at the bar that Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer have set. He looks at the work that's required. He says, that's not for me. That's for them. They are the GOAT. They can have it. I'd rather work half as hard, win millions of dollars, travel the world, date a lot of hot women, and call it a day. And give some fans something to laugh and cheer about for about 3 or 4 rounds of tournament, and then I'm out. That's what he's decided to do. I can't blame him for that. As a fan, of course, Kyrgios could save the sport if he ever decided to work as hard as a Federer, Nadal, or Djokovic. It's never going to happen, guys. So don't even wish it to happen because it's not going to happen. But if that did happen, he would be a huge star because, you know, he's got that thing where you're either going to love him to death or you're going to hate him. And that's very good for sports. When you can love a player or hate a player, that's gold, right? McEnroe. I mean, there was no in between. You either love McEnroe or you despised him. And he's one of the biggest tennis stars ever. Agassi, especially when he first came out, you know, with the hair, people either loved him or they just thought he was such a cheese ball and hated him. But look how big a star he was. I mean, think about all our biggest stars. Serena Williams, you know, love her, like her, hate her, she's a star. She's a star. She transcends the game. So it's those players that can kind of like you either just embrace and love or they get under your skin. Kyrgios has that in spades, but he's not a champion. See, Serena's a champion. McEnroe's a champion. Connors is a champion. Kyrgios is not a champion. Yeah, Kyrgios, Monfils, exactly. Kyrgios has more attention to tennis, exactly. Yeah, I mean, people are so desperate for a star, we'll even just love watching Kyrgios play for 2 or 3 rounds. Right? Won't you? Shoot. I'd turn on the TV right now if Kyrgios was playing. I sure would. I sure would do it. So, you know, but we're never going to get him to be what he can be. I agree with you, Pete. Can't blame him for wanting to make millions and enjoy life the way he wants rather than train continuously. Right. Well, Kyrgios is just playing along with the media. If he's hitting Fed, if he hitting Fed all the time, that would be a different story, and people wouldn't talk. He's good for tennis. I don't understand that. I just couldn't read that through. Kyrgios is a talent, though. Of course, Kyrgios is a talent. I mean, that's what he is. He's complete, overwhelming talent to where he doesn't have to work twice as hard as everybody, right? So, I mean, Kyrgios, they're playing also in Acapulco right now, which, again, who cares? Who's even in it? Is the biggest star in Acapulco Alexander Zverev? I don't even know who's out in Acapulco. I haven't even looked at one match. Now, when Nadal is playing Acapulco, I watched that tournament, and Kyrgios won that. Did he beat Nadal in the? Did he beat him in the finals or semifinals? I don't know. I know Kyrgios won Acapulco a couple years ago. It was extreme. I mean, this is a tournament again that a lot of people are not going to watch, but when certain people are on, you watch it. I watched that tournament, and I remember he won the tournament, and guess what? Before the finals, he went jet skiing. He was jet skiing 2 hours before the finals. Kyrgios was. That was his match preparation. The dude was jet skiing 2 hours before the finals. No one else does that, right? That's why we wish he could just do more. Tsitsipas is there. Tsitsipas is number 1 seed at Acapulco. Okay, good. I'll watch then. I like Tsitsipas. I think Tsitsipas can be a star. He's so close. He's so close. He doesn't quite have all the pizzazz of a Kyrgios, but he's close enough to where if he could win a lot, he could be huge. He could be huge. He beat Nadal in 2019, round of 16. Wow, you guys really know. Steph plays pair tonight. Yeah, pair's another one. Exciting to watch. A weirdo. Not really very focused on his tennis, or at least not enough to really do any damage. Like McEnroe, Kyrgios, and the Raw have talent. Yeah, we like the rigidness. We like what you're saying. No, that the tour is too rigid and sheer robotic nature. Lendl, right? Yeah, but Lendl even became a big star because of McEnroe and because he won so much. I mean, that's the thing too, guys. When you win so much, you're going to become a star no matter what. You know, like Lendl, a lot of people didn't want him to be a star because he was not near as exciting to watch as McEnroe. But, you know, when he just kept winning and winning and winning, you know, even Ivan Lendl became a big star. You know, I think most people would give Lendl enough credit to turn on the TV if he got to another finals. He's certainly not as exciting as watching McEnroe get to the finals or Connors get to the finals. People wanted to watch them a lot more. Pair is so fun to watch. Yes, he is fun to watch. What does Tsitsipas not have at the moment? That's the thing. Okay, this is a great question. It's like, what does Tsitsipas not have at the moment? And that's where I'm struggling, guys, because it's easy. I think the easy answer is to say outside the top 3, it's easy to start saying they don't want it bad enough. They're not training hard enough. They're spoiled kids. These are all the things that's very easy to just go, that's the reason. But look at Tsitsipas. He's working his butt off. Have you watched some of his matches lately? Did you watch that match against Nadal? Don't tell me that guy doesn't want it. I mean, he dug deep to win that match against Nadal. And ever since that match against Nadal, every match you watch him play, he is focused. He is trying his absolute best. He has dedicated his life to tennis. You just can't dismiss him and say he's not trying. You know, I bet you if you stayed with any of these players in the top 100 and look what they did to prepare themselves to play, you'd go, shit, that's a lot of hard work. They're working. I would never work that hard. So they're not trying. They just can't separate themselves. There's no cream of the crop. What is cream of the crop? Djokovic is cream of the crop. Federer is cream of the crop. Nadal's cream of the crop. It stands clearly above the rest. We just don't have that. It's not their fault. The more I watch tennis, I'm not blaming them. I used to blame them, the more I watch it and I watch how hard they're playing, how many talented players there are, I'm not blaming them anymore. I'm just worried about the sport because there is nobody who can step up. That doesn't mean they're losers. They just can't seem to do it. And I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know if anything's wrong with them. Sinner is a mental beast, as Nadal is. You know, Sinner looks like he could be, but I think to start calling him a mental beast like Nadal, I think that gives he has potential to be great, Sinner. He looks like he's playing the role pretty good. But remember, Nadal at 17, 18 was number 2 in the world. Okay? Okay, he was. So you can't compare the mental tough. It looks like it could be, but it's not even the same conversation, guys. That's the thing too about Djokovic, Federer, Nadal. From a very young age, they were champions. They figured out how to win. It took Djokovic longer, but even in that 18, 19, 20, he started to figure out how to get to every single semifinal and every single final, and just couldn't figure out how to beat Federer or Nadal. And then once he figured out how to beat them, he's beaten the crap out of them for 10 years straight. All right, let's see. I think it's unlucky when you have a hard match. Yeah, I don't know. Sinner, I hope Sinner can do it. I think Sinner can do it. I mean, I hope he can, but we just don't know. I mean, the thing that is just weird is, you know, the champions, they never needed a long time. They didn't need to mature into being a champion until they were 25, 26, 27. They were already legends by then. Federer is already a legend by 25. Nadal is already a legend by 25. Legend by 25. Not like grooming himself to be it. They were legends at 25. Go back and just look at tennis. Borg was a legend by 25. He dominated when he started 18, 19, 20. He won 5 Wimbledons in a row and 6 French Open. By the time he was 26, he had 5 Wimbledons and 6 Frenches. By the time he was 26. So he just started to dominate. Basically, by the time he was 20, he was just dominating. Look at McEnroe. 17, 18 in college, makes the semifinals of Wimbledon. Then once he goes pro, like I think after his sophomore, junior year of college, now all of a sudden he's just on the tour. He's number 1, number 2 in the world. You know, look at Becker, 17 years old, unseeded, goes into Wimbledon. Linebacker, football linebacker out on the court. Wimbledon champion in 2 weeks. You know, Pete Sampras, out of nowhere, 19 years old, U.S. Open champion. Agassi, right? Took him longer to win the championship, but by the time Agassi was 18, 19, number 3 in the world, rock star. You can't say that about anybody else right now. We just keep saying, well, they just need more time. They just need more time to figure it out. I don't know. So let's see. Will not be one dominant player. It may be many sharing big titles like the WTA right now. Yeah, and that's a concern. Before Naomi Osaka, you would just have if Serena wasn't playing, you'd have no idea who was going to win the tournament. Lots of times it'd be 2 people that you can't even remember what the finals were. It was 2 names that didn't roll off the top of your tongue, and no one watched. You know, Naomi Osaka is now starting to become a star, and that's good for the game. Whether you like Naomi Osaka or not, she's now starting to become a star. People are looking at her going, and I don't think it's fair to say, are you the next Serena? I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's really a real comparison, but that's what people are already saying who don't know anything about tennis. Like, she's the next Serena. Why? Because she's winning. That's why. You know, you need somebody to win. What are the men going to do? Dominic Thiem goes out, number 1 seed, 6'3", 6'4", gone. Big three are born champions. It's in the DNA. Is that where we're really getting, is that what was that? That might have been the nail on the head. It's not like anything that these players can do. Is it just that somehow, as hard as they work, as good as they are, as great as they are, we don't have a born champion right now? Can you blame that on them? I don't know. Is it just this weird time to where we just don't have, I mean, Djokovic, when he was 5 or 6, I think, was already kissing the Wimbledon trophy, right? So maybe that's it. Maybe we just don't have a born champion. We have born talented players. We have hungry players. We have great players. But there's just not that player who knows how to look at the tournament and go, yeah, I can figure out a way to beat Nadal. I can figure out a way to beat Federer. I can do that. I mean, that's what Becker did, right? I mean, he came in out of nowhere, 17 years old, and he looked at the rest of the tour. He goes, yeah, I can win Wimbledon. Why not? I can do it. Who cares if McEnroe's there? I don't care, right? I mean, that's what he did. 1986, look it up. Or was it 85? I think it was 86. Was it 85, 86? I don't know. They make each other champions, pushing each other further. Maybe. I mean, when Federer first came, he didn't really have any rival. Federer came, born champion, and he came in at like the best time. If you want to do an argument against Federer being the GOAT, he got to clean up the tour with really no one else there for like 2+ years, 2 or 3 years, where he was beating like Leighton Hewitt in the finals, and he was beating up an old Andre Agassi in the finals, and I think he beat, who did he beat? Krejci. I mean, he beat players that he would look at his Baghdadis. I think he got a Grand Slam against Baghdadis. So Federer got to pick up some, when you compare it to the big three, some like almost freebie Grand Slam titles, and then Nadal came and showed, and again, how much time did Nadal need? He just looked, he goes, that's my guy, Federer. I got to figure out a way to beat him. Went right to the top with him. And then they became great rivals. So, yeah, it's just interesting how these champions are born and how we just seem to not even be close to having another one. And I don't even know if it's their fault, but it is what it is. This has been a very fun conversation, guys. And yeah, oh, I forgot. I keep forgetting. I went live earlier today. I keep forgetting. One thing that's for sure, all the players have amazing forehands. There's lots of forehand winners out there. So don't forget to sign up for the 7-day forehand challenge. We're starting March 22nd. It's free to sign up. You can get free videos, lessons each and every day for the 7 days starting March 22nd. Full lessons. We teach you the ATP forehand. And then also you can send in your forehand video to me and I will analyze it. But it has been a lot of fun. You guys are amazing. I love doing these live streams with you. And I keep leaving your comments. These are great comments. It's been a great talk.